General M.M. Naravne, Chief of the Army Staff, Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary, Chief of Air Staff, Lieutenant General Vijay Aluwalia, Director Claus, former chiefs, respected veterans, distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. At the outset, I would like to compliment Claus for choosing a very apt topic for the PRAGYAN Conclave 2022, and I thank Claus for this kind invitation to share my views. I'll begin by drawing the audience's attention towards Clausewitz's epic work on war, where he highlights that while the nature of war remains constant, its character changes continuously. Change in the character of war is therefore not a new phenomenon, but one that has endured since times immemorial. However, the factors driving this change have varied. So let me share a few of the factors which, in my estimation, will be key in shaping the contours of future wars. The first factor is the contemporary geopolitical climate, and more specifically, the return of great power competition, underscored by a multipolar world order with overlapping spheres of influence. This competition is leading to jostling between nations almost on a day-to-day basis across regions and across domains. Such competition, if unchecked or unregulated, is likely to lead to conflict. We are all aware that at the operational and tactical level, this competition is already manifesting in the form of grey zone warfare, hybrid warfare, salami slicing, and so on. The next factor is technology. While technology has remained one of the principal drivers of the changing character of war, the recent past has witnessed a significant increase in the rate of technology induction across militaries as well as by other actors. I'm of the view that rather than a leapfrogging approach, a pole vaulting approach is required, as suggested by Sri Mashelkar in his book from from leapfrogging to pole vaulting, where he says we must develop military technologies that are essential for us to stay well ahead of the adversary. The deep-seated influence of technology on warfare has been evident all the time. Today, technology is improving exponentially, while the cost of technology is also falling exponentially for similar effects. It may therefore be possible very much to fight and win in entirely new ways, not just improve the way we are fighting, but change the way we fight and to win in completely different ways. So this also brings me to the third factor, that is the evolution of cyber as a very vital domain for warfare. It's while it is common to all actors, the cyber domain interacts endlessly with all other domains of land, sea, air, as well as space. Also, the lack of international regulations on the use of cyberspace and possible deniability complicates the situation even further. This is therefore one domain that merits our undivided attention. Additionally, the contours of future wars are influenced by a host of other factors like doctrinal development, international law, strategic culture, organizational structure, apex leadership, and so on. So overall, a complex blend of these factors will shape the dynamic strategic environment where future wars will be fought. So based on the factors that I just mentioned, I'm of the view that future wars would be multi-domain with a complicated escalation mechanism. It will be catalyzed by niche technology, which would have a disruptive impact and may even alter the military balance. And given our security situation, the probability of a full-blown conflict can never be ruled out. I feel that we'd be naive to ignore Plato's words that only the dead have seen the end of war. Notwithstanding, to my mind, most future conflicts are likely to be predominantly limited. Rather, we are involved in managing such conflicts even now on a day-to-day basis. Fighting these day-to-day battles requires immediate solutions and tend to distract us from the long view, by which I mean the transformational changes which will instill agility and future-proof our organizations from impending shocks. I will now highlight a few vital aspects towards this end. Firstly, we must clearly understand that developing strategies to overcome the challenges of future war is not a single or even a tri-service issue, but it is one which warrants focus, time and resources of every organ of the government in a synergized manner. This will require overcoming existing silos and developing cross-organizational linkages at all levels of functioning. The National Security Council Secretariat at the apex level is a good example of providing such functional integration across various ministries. While organizational synergy is being ensured, joint processes also need to be evolved. Recent initiatives like the ICATs for joint force planning, formulation of joint staff qualitative requirements to enhance interoperability are all initiatives which will go a long way in rationalizing our processes and optimizing outcomes. More such endeavors are needed, and from the maritime perspective, the impending appointment of a National Maritime Security Coordinator is a proposal aimed at breaking such silos and supporting cross-organizational linkages. Moving on to the issue of technology, future wars are definitely bound to be technology intensive. Therefore, there's a requirement to innovate and evolve mechanisms that foster development and incorporation of niche technologies at a rapid pace. Anyone who lags behind in this respect, I'm afraid, may face great difficulties. So, acknowledging the centrality of technology and Atmanirbharta, or self-help, the Indian Navy has instituted a three-tier organization consisting of Naval Technology Acceleration Council, the Naval Innovation and Indigenization Organization, and a Technology Development and Acceleration Cell, which were all inaugurated in February last year and mandated to focus on technology induction in the fight component based on indigenous capability. Similarly, roadmaps toward the induction of key technologies like science and technology roadmap, unmanned roadmap, the iron space roadmap, etc., synergize efforts across the organization to induct new and niche technologies. And a word of caution here, technology alone will obviously not be enough, and incorporation of technology must be suitably supported by evolutionary doctrines and associated concepts. A seamless integration of technology into a concept of operations and their optimal utility is what we as leaders have to ensure. And this brings me to the final and, in my view, a very vital facet to effectively fight future wars, which is the leadership. Every leader must develop the ability to look beyond the horizon and drive organizational changes to be ready for future wars. This will, of course, require continuous intellectual rigor to outthink the adversary, as also to ensure that our forces are equipped with the right means to fight tomorrow's wars. And having covered the changing character of war, let me quote Colin Gray, who describes future wars by saying that, I quote, future war will include both change and continuity from the past, unquote. He further posits that the enduring nature of war is defined by being violent, interactive, and towards political ends. This has been alluded to by the Army Chief as well. This enduring nature offers avenues for a creative student of military history and statecraft to contextualize lessons from the past so as to imagine contemporary and future scenarios. Such endeavors will improve our ability to be agile in thinking, nimble-footed in approach, and thorough in preparing response mechanisms. The large volume of knowledge encapsulated in our ancient texts, epics, treatise, etc., would be educative in this regard. To conclude, I would just say that the future is and will always remain unpredictable. It will be amorphous and exemplified by disorder. So no matter how hard we try to identify, trend and foretell the future, surprises will always happen. Or in Donald Rumsfeld's words, known unknowns and the unknown unknowns will tend to disrupt the best laid plans. Thinking about this takes me back to Nicholas Nassim Taleb's book Anti-Fragile, where it describes anti-fragility as the ability not just to withstand shocks, but to grow stronger with each jolt. Therefore, I feel we must make our organizations, processes, and people not only resilient or robust, but also anti-fragile. But how to do it? That is our challenge. So once again, I thank Klaus for this opportunity and wish all participants an academically enriching discussion during the course of the conclave. Thank you. Jai Hind.